Open wide, baby dolls. It's time for your yummy, yummy update. Firstly, I want to start by telling you that you're my friend. And secondly, there is no free lunch in crypto. I went through this in Juicy News. I want to recap it here for you. I've got this nice chart here for you. It's a screenshot from 2013 to show you how far back this goes. So the top line is the global liquidity M2 fractal, and the bottom is just the Bitcoin chart. You notice how Bitcoin is like way peaked from its bull market top. Altcoins and Bitcoin, they're down 70% by this point, okay? And global liquidity is still ticking up, okay? So this happened in each three of the cycles, all right? So pretty much what it tells you is you can't use the global liquidity for a sell signal. It will keep rising in our bear market because they plan these things out ahead, and crypto is hyper reactive. So crypto obviously is super volatile on the upside. We go way above fair value, but then also anything that stops the party, we just go all the way back down, okay? And yes, it happened in all three crypto cycles. It's probably going to happen again. So you can't just be holding on forever saying, oh, I'm going to wait for the global liquidity to basically roll over. It's not going to give us the answer that we need. That's why we have to look at stuff, for example, like you bought in the depression, maybe just up a lot of money. That could be it. You higher multiples. Maybe you're looking at stuff like exotic top signals. Maybe there's $1 billion ICO raise, right? Maybe Coinbase App Store hit ranking #1. You see what I mean? Maybe Ty Lopez is back. Whatever it is out here, just giving you these indications that we're running out of time. Also, I wanted to show you this as well, friends. Thank you to Mr. Lupin from Hex. Tom Lee right here has confirmed what I've speculated on for the past 2 years. Michael Saylor is buying Bitcoin for the US government. The thing probably Richard Hart realized early 2024 when he purchased ETH. So if we check it out here.
Well, MicroStrategy is 3.2% of the network's circulating supply right now. And, but, you know, MicroStrategy wants to get to at least 1 million Bitcoin, which is about 5%. And keep in mind that once MicroStrategy has 1 million Bitcoin, they have a sovereign put. You know, they are strategically important to the Bitcoin ecosystem. I mean, if the US wants to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve, it's probably difficult for the US to buy 1 million Bitcoin in the open market, because as soon as they announce it, sellers are going to shrink, and, you know, Bitcoin could go to $1 million right away. So MicroStrategy might be an easier way for someone to get to 1 million Bitcoin. So I call that a sovereign put.
Here we go,
MicroStrategy.
So Sommi expects $15,000 Ethereum by the end of the year. It's a very interesting take as well. I did think of something like that, friends. The US government, it's just like China, man. It's not Michael Saylor's, oh, you got your Bitcoin on Coinbase? It ain't your Bitcoin, brother. It's actually the US government if we ever need it. That's just how it works, man. Hopefully it doesn't get to there. We're probably going to see a big mania, man. That'll be great. I showed you this as well, friends. Soylana backstabbed Ethereum big time. Remember, Vitalik came out in support of Soylana when it was $8 to $9. He bottom ticked it. He literally bottom ticked it at the end of December 2022. He said very nice things about it. Then they come out, they literally backstab it. Man, it's just a representation of the Soylana and the LA Vape cabal. Remember, Soylana said, "Oh, Ethereum only does 20 transactions per second. Why is Wall Street going through and choosing it when they should be pretty much choosing something else, like Soylana?" But as I tell you, friends, the market's trying to price in the future. Also, with Ethereum's whole roadmap stuff, the theory is, we don't know how it's going to play out, okay? Everyone says Soylana's one. I don't know, man, because all these chains, friends, the theory is that all these chains are going to go on main layer ones. But Vitalik and everyone else, all the deep thinkers of Ethereum, they go, no, most likely, or just like website servers and stuff, they're probably going to get someone, they make their own layer 2. They make their own layer 2, they host it themselves, and they do their own stuff, and then they can connect and trade with it. Because no matter how much you increase the transaction speed of the main layer 1, people will come and start filling it up. But here's the thing, we got to see 2024 play out, and yeah, it was pretty nice when they start filling it up, even though they're filling it up with mostly just JPEG swapping scam and grifts, right? Pump fund trash. But still, nonetheless, there's a lot of activity, right? So that's why I guess we'll see how it all plays out. But, you know, Wall Street and this big money coming in, you know, they're speaking with their dollary doonies. and stablecoin super cycle is one big part of it. Also, friends, shout out to Sommi Fan Token. So it was you all along, Sommi, out here. Richard Hart, no. They are about to find out how many times ETH has been offline compared to SOL, 0. You know a chain is desperate when they poop post the OG chain. They want to be better than. Very interesting and true. Also, we have Liberty Swap. Friends, you are the earliest warriors in the Pulse chain trenches. Launch it, bond it, build it, make it last. The Soylana playbook won't work here. We'll all make money, but with a different playbook. I am with you in the trenches. Peg. Awesome. I hope we all get there. That'd be fantastic. As a friendly reminder, friends, I'll give you this yummy update. Remember, I've shown you this SOL-ETH ratio. They are entering anxiety. Okay. Complacency was up here, right? Complacency was, remember, it's not the exact chart. It's an emotional cycle. Okay. That's most important. It's an emotional cycle. So anxiety is coming after complacency, which is right here. Complacency, friends, is the president has just launched a token on your chain. Okay, right here. The president just launched a token on your chain and you're not making exceptionally high highs against ETH and holding them. You're not holding them. You've rejected out here. You've done like the failed rally high. That's what SOL-ETH did, yeah? Now it's in anxiety. Now they're backstabbing, right? They're going, why am I getting margin called? The dip is taking longer than expected. Pretty much like, wait, why is Ethereum rallying? Why did they choose Ethereum? It's got no transactions. We're taking a bit of a longer time than I expected for us to rally by this point. We're entering now. And this is the first cut of dopamine. Okay? Friends, anxiety is the opposite, basically, to optimism. See, optimism, this rally is real. So that might be Ethereum breaking this $4,000 or $5,000. And we're like, oh! We get our first dopamine hit. We're like, oh, Ethereum! The first dopamine hit after like freaking 4.5+ years, right? Conversely, Soylana's getting theirs taken out. And man, when that dopamine gets out, it's the worst feeling ever, man. It's game over at that point. After that is denial. And watch out for that comment. You will see people start to say, it's okay, we survived FTX. We can survive anything. You know? That's why, friends, when you have a generation of cheaters, that's your generational cultish approach, doesn't work out good, man. More just in news, friends. What we're gonna do is play some PUBG music. Just in news. Arthur Gaze, Mr. Coconut himself, he's starting to buy back even more from his capitulation. You know, yesterday I reported for you that Arthur Gaze, he made an apology tweet. Well, on chain, he's bought back $5 million of ETH, and he's starting to buy Lido, Pendle, ETHFi. He's starting to buy the leverage Ethereum. Friends, this is like turbo capitulation. First, he just sold his meth. He's like, oh, you're going down to $3,000. Now, he's bought back the meth, and he's buying the leverage on ETH. This is like, oh, man, it's funny. He's like, ah! Actually, it's actually quite smart, because if you're wrong, you can't get your money in. Now he's going further out the risk curve. Okay, so just to show you an example of what it is, it would be like, friends, for example, let's say you sold Pulse Chain. You sold Pulse Chain at the lows here. Right, let's say you sold Pulse Chain. Let's say you woke up, you saw Gymrat Crypto said, Richard Hart! Let's say maybe pretty much Gymrat Crypto is going nuts. You're like, I got scammed. So let's say you sold your PLS here at 70% below SAC price. And now you're watching it go up here. Now it's at 50%. You're like, oh, crap, man. If you check this out, friends, if you did, though, you are 35% smaller in bag size now already. So one alternative people can do is this, but you don't have much time to do this, right? The time goes away fast. So you basically go like, crap, I've capitulated. I have to get back in. So, one strategy you can throw in is maybe you want to get leverage on Pulse. Now, people do leverage as in they can just go into a freaking leverage protocol and put it on. Super dangerous. Super. Because if you're wrong on the timing, you're wrecked. You lose everything at that point. Another way to get it, maybe you're going to bet on Hex Pulse going up, or Ink Pulse going up, or Pulse X to Pulse ratio going up, all these ratios, or even pDAI Pulse rate going up, right? So maybe you frame it back in here, and then you hope that this thing comes up and it makes up for it. But like I said, you can't do it all the time, and it requires knowledge as well. Like, you can't just go into any chain and be like, oh, what's the leverage play on Phantom? What's the top 5 on there? What's the best 5 leverage plays on PUI? It takes knowledge and hard work. That's what I'm doing, friends. I'm literally giving my blood, sweat, and tears here to be able to do this. You literally can't get this anywhere, man. Also, friends, more yummy updates. I am less than 20 videos away now from 5555 videos. Is nothing going to happen, or will something happen? That is quite surprising to see. We are near 5555 videos. I'll be honest, I don't have anything planned. I was just kind of hoping we're going to go off. I'll just be honest. I'm just hoping someone's going to slap it up. And just to let you know, I'll be making this tweet. Just don't lose your mind, okay? Because I'm planning to do this as a joke if I get around to it. So if there is even so much as a 1% green candle in pDAI on the 5555 video day in a few days, if there's just 1%, I'm gonna tag and I'm gonna say Richard Hart has bought pDAI up 1% as a message to the pDAI community that it's going up. Or I'm gonna say something like that, just so you know, because if you see other people, it's gonna do the rounds where everyone's like, oh, this guy's he's so much of a lunatic, he doesn't get it. It's just that type of stuff will come out, friends, which is funny. Don't forget, bet more. It's time to go all in, baby dolls. I got to show you this picture again. I love this picture. I made it in ChatGPT AI. ChatGPT 5 actually sucks ass. ChatGPT, it doesn't even do instructions, just keeps looping infinitely a lot of times. But I think they're gonna fix it and do stuff at you. So going all in, Ethereum $5,000 plus. And yeah, man, I know we've been waiting a long time. I think, friends, everything's gonna be okay. Why? I have a special message here from Uncle Peter Schiff. He's going to pump our bags. Look at this. He goes, well, Ethereum is up a bit since I recommended to switch it into Bitcoin. But I still think the trade will work out. In fact, it was working well initially until Ethereum just rallied late last week. I have no interest in owning either. But if you put a gun to my head, I'd chose Bitcoin. How, Uncle Peter Schiff? How much of he this much of a lehu lezer? How? You were so close, Uncle Peter Schiff, man. He was on that panel, friends. Remember, a year and a half ago, he was on a panel of people, and all of them chose Bitcoin on the Bitcoin ETF. And then he says, you know what? Just based off being contrarian, I'd choose Ethereum. I think he said this at the end of 2023. Oh, man. Uncle Peter Schiff. Now, just to show you what he's actually talking about, the ETH-BTC ratio. He goes, oh, you know, it's up a bit since I told you to sell it. This is a monthly chart. Oh, man, it'll be funny. It just keeps going up. This is the ETH-BTC ratio, friends. Remember, we've got a long way to go. And yes, look, something that's down this bad, yeah, it's a third cycle curse. The curse already hit, right? So Ethereum, all we can get back is here. Do you remember, fans? I knew the curse was coming, but my guess and my hope was that we would get cucked by the US dollar price. But the curse came, we got cucked in the ratio price. So I thought maybe Bitcoin was going to stop 100K, 80K, and Ethereum was going to hit like $8,000. That was one way the curse could happen. ETH-BTC goes up here, 0.10. That's Bitcoin 80K, Ethereum 8K, right? But we didn't get that scenario. We got Bitcoin went up, and then Ethereum, ETH-BTC got down. So we got cursed in that manner. So we'll see how it plays out, right? More Justin news from Soylana as well. So there's a man here, friends. Justin, plug me, Bonds. I gave him that nickname. Justin Bonds, friends. I think he comes out every once in a while. He just fuds chains, right? But he tries to go deep into him. He was just like, you know, he fudded Bitcoin in favor of Bitcoin Cash. He's one of those dudes. He also fudded Hex and stuff and Pulse Chain. He just makes these threads, but now he's in Soylana. But he made his thread. Ethereum is not scaling. The narrative is false. This is why Soylana has 72x usage transaction per second compared to Meth. Trogdon, remember when he shielded Tezos? Okay, so there you go. I've learned something else today. He also... Now, Justin, plug me, Bonds, got pulverized by Etherator. Friends, Etherator, this guy, I did not know who he was until a short while ago. One of the big VCs of Soylana, Kyle Salami, he bet him $100 million. He goes, hey, I'll bet you $100 million. Let's take a position on the SOL-ETH ratio. So he literally put the bet on. They didn't actually take the bet, but the bet was for January of this year. He literally top ticked it. Trump launching. Literally the Trump launch. He goes, that's it. Let's take this bet. You go long. No, you go short, I go long. That's what Kyle Salami said, and then there you go, farty poopy all the way down. So it now brings us to this post. So he's made this post. He goes, what Justin plug me bonds isn't telling you. The vast majority of these transactions on Soylana are for fake dead coins speed running zero. There were 1.3 million transactions in the top 20 coins on Soylana chain in the last 24 hours. So 1.3 million in the top 20. Over 1.1 of those 1.3 million transactions were for coins less than 48 hours old. In other words, 83 transactions out of 100 are fluff. The soy marketing machine is desperately trying to rewrite the narrative. Don't let them. Now, it's funny. They always talk about narrative, the N-word, the N-word. So, look, friends, I'm not saying it. Like, of course, they have adoption. Yeah, they do have adoption. People use it and they swap around. And they're circling around the drain. They got the LA vape cabals, literally LA vape cabal. Their foot is in everyone's mouths. And look, when Soylana capitulates, they're gonna come and try to arrest someone from the chain. Someone, of course. So it happens in literally everything, right? But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's not about that being a form of cope for everyone, because that's what you hear sometimes Ethereum guys do. They go, oh, it's all fake, it's all fake. No, it's early network effect stuff out here, right? The thing is, though, that's why, like, so Ivan will say all the Ethereum maxes, they're in cope. They're saying, and he would tease, remember Ivan, our friend Ivan, he would show and tease Bankless. Bankless guys would say, oh, no, it's all fake, la, la, la. This was a year and a half ago. And Ivan's like, nah, man, it's real. There's people trading and it's real. So he was right about that. And the Bankless say it's all fake and stuff. So it's not about being a right or wrong. What I'm telling you is it's cyclical, dude, okay? Soylana had a lot of trophy winning juice for a year and a half. Hence why the SOL-ETH ratio, bro, it ran up for a year and a freaking half. It ran up for a year and a half. 700 days. A long amount of time to run up for is 180 days. 180. 6 months. This went up triple the longest time you should pretty much hold for. That's wild, man. So they won the game. But now this is what happens, man, because it's tough, man. No one wants to leave the party, ever. No one wants to leave the party. You get to see why. It builds your identity. Like that Mert guy and everyone else. They're like, because they're Soylana infused now. And because they survived it through going to FTX and coming back up and taking over the industry and people speculating. And the president choosing their chain. He's like, yes, I will unzip and I will drop my meme coin on your chain. It'll be quite the meme coin. Down only. And Melania, the first lady, also dropped quite the meme coin. Quite the first lady. But no one wants to leave, man. No one wants to leave, friends. It's the Bitcoin halving year. Yeah, it's a curse, but you win the trophy, but you just don't know they're handing you the trophy. You know, and by the way, we just barely started, dude. They just hit anxiety. They just hit anxiety where they just realize the dopamine's not going up anymore. Right? And that's why I've told you, man, when you have a culture of cheating, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it. Okay. Now, here's the thing, friends. It doesn't even matter really what your culture really does, because when the dopamine goes down, no logic can keep people in. You can't. Okay. So these things are going to start to play out. I mean, if some other new chain is going to come up, and I was just going to play around, you know, it's going to be, look, I've told you, actually told you this a year and a half ago. I said, look, because of the culture of cheating on Soylana, you will see this. And friends, I guarantee you're going to see one of these things. Guarantee. As pegged as my nipples are, that's one guarantee. I'll give you this guarantee. One of the meme coin premieres, maybe that Morad has chosen or whatever, or whoever else out there, one of the meme coins on Soylana will have a disbandment. They'll break and they'll just go launch the coin on another chain, and they'll just split the network effect and they'll dilute it, and it will like cause a rift. Yeah. And then you realize, oh, you don't believe in the chain anyway, bro. You're just there to grift with everybody else. You're just there on whatever's around. Okay. Mark my, it will happen like that. And then you'll see why it's important to have believers only. Mr. Polarity. Looks like I was right and they were wrong. Well done, sir. Look at this. In 2024. In 2024, October. How much of Soylana's DEX volume is fake? Dozens of coins below 1 million market cap are doing 20 to 30 million volume of 100% fake. I'd say at least 50% of the volume is fake. No one does fake volume on ETH since it's very expensive to transact. Ethereum is still on top. Yes. Friends, this is Cointelegraph. I've been telling you for the past 2 or 3 days, Cointelegraph, they're a nice signal. They represent the average retailer, pleb, who's going to get bone-crushingly defeated this cycle. They're turbo long Bitcoin, they're turbo long soy. All right? They're fading Ethereum, they're fading Pulse Chain, they're even fading XRP. They're literally fading everything that has an army and a cult, okay? This was a post from them showing, literally almost a year ago, breaking news! Soylana's DEX volume is dominating the market. Soylana has a DEX volume dominance soaring, guys. Wow. Soylana leads Ethereum. Oh, wow. By the way, let me just show you. This one, it's tough, bro. It's tough, isn't it? It's tough. Look when this was happening, by the way. It was here. See that? It was here. Breaking new all-time. Now, this isn't the end of the world. Actually, down 40%. If this thing comes back all the way down here, look what it's going to be another cycle again, friends. Then from that point, this one, from when Cointelegraph like keeps sucking off Soylana, you'll be down like 66% against. Ah, man, it's all happened. It's a cycle, dude. I've told you thousands of times. So where are we going from here? Of course, we all like to know. Well, look, man, OTHERS-BTC, it's just on 2 green monthly candles. I'm not jinxing it. All right, because the last time it did green, it went to red when we expected it to finish green, and it basically takia'd us. So I am going to be waiting carefully with you. There's only 2 green months so far. That's assuming August finishes green. Let's wait until August finishes green, and then we can go from there. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you soon.